you could do a whole lot worse than a quarterback room that consists of Jimmy Garoppolo and a rookie that they bring in along with Josh Rosen. You know, I think that's a quarterback room that's better than what they had in 2020 and 2019. But really, the problem with keeping Garoppolo is what's going to happen to the rest of the roster. You know, depends. Does John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, do they feel comfortable with keeping, Justin School as your starting left tackle? Because without Garoppolo's contract coming off the books, the 49ers really don't have money to spend. They only have about 39 guys on their roster that are currently under contract, that are guys that you could expect for them, that you'd want to have on the opening day roster comes 2021. So, $20 million, you're having to take about $10 million of that for your salary, for your rookie salary cap as well. So you really don't have much money other than bringing in your own guys that you've already signed and maybe one or two cheap guys somewhere else. So keeping Garoppolo really, I think, will have a bad detriment across the rest of the roster and really kind of gut it.
Keeping Garoppolo does open up the fact that they wouldn't have to spend their first-round pick on a quarterback necessarily, but it would make them have to use a first- or second-round pick on a left tackle. As Jack said, pretty much eliminates any chance of Trent Williams returning. I'm all for players going to get the money they earned, and Trent Williams is definitely deserving of top 5 left tackle money, but that won't happen with the 49ers if Jimmy Garoppolo returns. And if they choose to hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo, that's fine. I think he's still I've always been a pretty big Jimmy Garoppolo guy, at least for this channel, I would say. And
comparatively.
Compared to other people, I'd say I'm the more positive one on Jimmy here. But I think him returning does hurt them a little because they wouldn't probably be able to bring back Kerry Hyder. They might need Kyle Juszczyk to take a little less money. Jaquiski Tartt is pretty much gone. And so it does have a couple moving pieces, and they have to use a draft pick, I think, in the first round on a left tackle if there's one there.
Hey, I'm pretty positive on Jimmy too. It's just kind of fun to bash him sometimes whenever Grant brings him up. It's just too tempting. But what does it mean for the rest of the roster? It means that they're going to have a playoff contending roster still, but not a Super Bowl one. I don't think that with Jimmy, they can get to the NFC title game, because if what it means for the roster is now they're not going to be able to, like you guys said, not going to be able to fill in as many holes as they want. Now they're going to be more like Swiss cheese and just holes here and there. And Garoppolo's going to have to make up for it. Can he? No, because he can't stay in the field. And even if he can, he's very random and sporadic for when he wants to pick and choose, when he wants to elevate, like the few games he did in 2019. But I wouldn't expect, but I wouldn't rule out maybe the 49ers, if they really are committed, hey, Jimmy is the guy, then some contracts are going to start getting restructured here, like maybe Jimmy Ward or somewhere else who they could push back. So what it means for the roster, some guys are going to get paid now, and some are going to be like, hey, you want a bonus? You're going to have to push it back down further. So if they do this just to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, then all this long-term vision that everyone likes to preach about, which even I'm someone that preach about, that the vision Lynch and Shanahan likes to have, it's not going to be good, because then a year or two down the line, it's like, great, we did all that just to keep Garoppolo online, and now we can't even build a good enough roster to support his replacement.
Yeah, I think you guys hit on the major points. It would really have a domino effect on the rest of the roster if they take if they bring back Jimmy Garoppolo and don't restructure his contract. I think it's pretty much guaranteed that they're going to lose Trent Williams, probably Jason Verrett as well. So let's just stick with Trent Williams. If you lose Trent Williams, as you guys pointed out, now you have to take Rashawn Slater at number 12. You still have Mike McGlinchey. You still don't have a great pass protecting line. It could be worse than last year. You don't know what Rashawn Slater is going to be like as a left tackle, as a rookie. You have no idea. So now you've traded a 3rd-round pick and a 5th for Trent Williams, and you get nothing out of it. You're not even going to comp pick because he's been in the league so long. You just get nothing for him. And here's what bugs me about what John Lynch and the Niners are doing. They keep saying, Jimmy's our guy, we want him, but they don't renegotiate his deal. It's too expensive. If they really liked him, they would have given him an extension when they gave Kyle, John, and Kittle extensions, but they didn't give him an extension. He's too expensive. And they're like, when asked point blank about it, John Lynch is like, well, we don't need to do that. We have plenty of cap space. No, you don't. That's why you let Emmanuel Sanders leave last season. You could have had Sanders, Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel and been in much better shape than not having Sanders. And the reason they had to let Sanders go is because they couldn't afford him. I mean, they really couldn't afford DeForest Buckner either. And now potentially not going to be able to afford their 2 top free agents because of Garoppolo. Or no, not because of Garoppolo, because the Niners are unwilling to either get rid of him or extend him. They're just playing the fence, and it's really hurting them. And that's the fallout, I think. Maverick, you're the resident Jimmy Garoppolo apologist. Is that okay? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think what we said was pretty similar.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. If they hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo. It just changes the whole offseason. And if that's who they choose to commit to, they should restructure it, because if they just have to add on one more year or give them more of a guaranteed salary in that restructuring, but it would free up more cap space. I know that's what happens a lot in restructuring. Then isn't that worth it if it does get Jimmy Garoppolo and Alejandro Villanueva instead of having Justin School as his left tackle? I think he would trade a couple million for that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. I'm going to – oh, you got something you want to say, Jack?
No, I was agreeing with Matt. One thing I will say, though, about Garoppolo really quick is nobody comes in and takes Jimmy Garoppolo's job. No, it's a joke. If you remember back in 2018 when the 49ers, what they did there, they went in through 2018 and they knew they had a hole at edge. And they went ahead and they decided that they were going to keep Cassius Marsh.
Yeah.
And they kind of just rolled the dice and knew that they were going to, whatever was going to happen. And then they went all in for 2019. That's really how 2020 is starting to feel. It feels like Jimmy Garoppolo is the new Cassius Marsh.
Ooh.